Let me ask you, is the popularity of flying increasing or decreasing, or where is that?
It's become more complex than before. It's become more expensive than before. The TSA now stick the roar and everything. The number of new pilot starts is decreasing, and it's disappointing. We need to do something to change that. My other hat that I wear apart from Flight for Lives is the Nantucket Flying Association. I'm president of it, again, as some of your viewers might recall. And we're going to try and see if we can get general aviation out on Nantucket. It's a great thing for kids to do. It's a great thing for adults to do. It's a great thing for you to do. And I mean, you're perfect for it because you've got things in 3 different locations and you could fly yourself around instead of sitting on Highway 6.
Now, for those folks who are afraid of flying, I explain to them, you have to understand that a plane wants to stay in the air. It's right? Explain that to people. So the physics of flying.
That's part of what we're going to talk about before we go up, so I can present that. But in basics, it's an inherently, positive static and positive dynamic stability are what it means. If it's disturbed from where it's been, it wants to go back there. If you pull the nose up and let go, it's going to, because of the 4 forces that are acting on the airplane, it's eventually going to settle itself out and go back to flight.
Is that right?
And it wants to be up there. Winds can make things tricky, but they're very safe. And what if the engine fails? Well, you're a glider. You just look for a road or a golf course or a beach or something, and you might ding the thing, putting it down on a beach.
Have you ever had to put it down?
No.
Never.
I had an engine failure on a DC-3 that I used to fly for PBA once. And everybody lined up to take pictures of the stopped propeller. It was just an amusement. We landed in Boston and, no problem. Right. So in a twin, it's fine. In a single, it makes you focus a little bit. Now they're putting these things called, it's a system made by Ballistic Recovery Systems. It's a parachute, rocket-powered parachute. I could get one fitted in here, but it eats up our whole luggage compartment. But a lot of new airplanes come with them. Engine goes bang, you yank a handle, big parachute comes out, you float down. And once again, you might ding something a little bit, you might dent some metal, but you're going to hop up and walk away.
But maybe somebody might be willing to use that too soon. So I'm also thinking.
Well, there was an incident out here a few years ago, and this is the whole thing about aeronautical decision making and sort of, I got to get there. You don't have to get there unless you want to get to the scene of the accident. If it's safe, you go there. So a chap came out here with his wife, I believe, in poor weather at night, and he wasn't instrument rated, but he had to get here because he had reservations or whatever. And they got lost, disoriented. He yanked the handle. They landed. They got caught up in the wires out at the Loran antenna in Sconset. He got quite hurt. She kind of was all right, but it was just bad decision making. It wasn't the airplane's fault. It wasn't the parachute's fault. I mean, that he pulled it right over a big, huge antenna with guy wires is rather unfortunate. But I mean, it's people that tend to, JFK Jr. is the classic mistake. 8 or 10 mistakes that led to an accident. Breaking any one of those chains probably would have prevented that accident from happening, but it was just lots of bad decisions. And learning to make the right decision is really, what we try and train potential student pilots. Use all the information at your fingertips, get updated weather, call ATC, always have ATC, air traffic control, always have approach control in the radio telling you about other traffic, because if something goes wrong, you can say, hey, wow, I'm lost, where am I? And they'll give you a little code on the transponder and tell you where you are, which is a bit of a joke these days with things like the iPad and the GPSs that we've got on board. Right. But, always use all the services at your fingertips. Know how to turn.
What about instruments? Is this an instrument?
Oh yeah. I go poke around in the worst fog imaginable in this thing, and it's great fun for me. But
most people can't fly that way, though, right?
You get an instrument rating after you get your private pilot's license, which actually brings your insurance down because now you're a much safer pilot. You can come in here and land when the fog is literally 1,800 feet visibility. As long as you get down to 200 feet on the instrument approach and can see a bit of lights through a bit of runway environment, you can operate in that, which isn't to say a guy with a brand new instrument rating is ready to do the really serious fog stuff. There's a difference between that and popping out 4 miles out at 1,000 feet and, oh, there's the airport over there 4 miles away. Like Oakland fog isn't fog, it's overcast at 800 feet. That's a different thing. So when you get your instrument rating, maybe you want to say to yourself, you know what, even though I can legally try and get in here when it's really low, I'm going to get some more experience before I actually try and do it. So again, you're making a safe decision based on known capabilities.
What about those flight simulators you can do online or put inside your iPad? Do those help?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great idea to get those.
My mailman's son, Jeff, I took him up a few years ago. I think he was like 17. And he was the sort of kid who lived on Microsoft Flight Simulator. He would fly his 767 to Tokyo overnight and set the alarm to get up at 2 a.m. to reconfigure the fuel system, the whole thing. So took him up for an intro flight, which is usually, you'll see what it is. It's, sort of getting comfy with the machine. And he flew just perfectly, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. Well, let's show him a stall, because that's normally a third or fourth lesson. And wings stall, engines don't stall. It's a very simple aerodynamic exercise. I might show you one today just for fun, because they're boring in the extreme. But
okay.
So, showed him that, perfect. Then I gave him a nice steep angle of bank turn, level turn, and he maintained altitude the whole way around it. So, okay, nobody ever lands on the first lesson. Came back in, he just about did it. So I said, all right, my airplane. Off we went, came back around, he did the next one perfectly, and the 3 after that. Absolutely perfectly, first time ever in an actual airplane. So yeah, flight simulators have a tremendous place in, as long as you're learning the right thing the right way. But with the basic Microsoft Flight Simulator and a Cessna 172, if you can maintain altitudes, headings, angles of bank, yeah, it's a wonderful learning tool. And you can do actually an awful lot of the instrument training in not just your laptop one, but one with a joystick and rudder pedals and a throttle quadrant. You can actually count that time towards instrument training. But it's got to be set up right. Yep. You can't just be your iPhone one or something.
Got it. Let's go learn how to fly.
Let's do that.
What year is this one?
78.
Oh my gosh, 78. Look at the condition.
We've had it painted, we put a new engine in it. If anything breaks, it gets fixed. It is literally our baby.